Jeff. I've seen you do a few interesting things where you drop down the cannon. You always drop down the cannon when you go for the pylon block. What is your reasoning behind that? Because we don't really see that in other Protoss.
You want to save it for when people are listening, or do you want me to just answer it now?
I think we should be good from the commercial right now. We're actually live.
Oh, we are?
And yeah, we are.
Okay.
We're good.
When you place the cannon like that and you cancel it, you lose 37 minerals. When he pulls 5 drones to go stop you from letting the cannon complete, he's missing out on 2 or 3 times that much money. So it's just a straight trade.
All right. That's pretty interesting. Do you think we're going to see more professional Protoss players do that in the future?
Grubby said he's taking it from me. Atero's doing it. Axlav said he's doing it. I mean, it's just raw math, right? Like, it's opportunity cost. I guess someone could make the argument that the cannon hurts the Protoss more, but I wouldn't say so. And I mean, just mathematically, they lose more money trying to cancel it than I do building it and then canceling it. And if they let it complete, then it throws a serious wrench in their build too, because they don't want to build more than 4 or 6 lings, and 4 or 6 lings don't kill a cannon.
Awesome. No, that's a really good point. And what about you hiding your probe? We've seen you use some pretty interesting strategies where you pretend to run away with your probe and then come back and scoot around the edge. Does that often work?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm a huge advocate of just having the probe out there anyways. Like, if they don't have an overlord by a morphing hatchery, then you have the ability to sneak in and some cannons, which I think happen in 1 or 2 of the games. And then, more importantly than even that, and something you can consistently count on, is the probe can spot for, is he going for a third? If no, then okay, then that changes things. Or if they go gas first, you have to worry about certain all-ins. And if you don't have a probe out on the map, then you're contained by speedlings and you have no idea what you're facing. So that probe out there can be a hero in that way too.
All right,
okay.
Great. All right, so I have a question for Steven, Destiny. So apparently, you've practiced a lot with Jeff in the past. You guys are very familiar. It's really clear that you guys are familiar with each other. So how does the kind of mindset go into this kind of best of 7 series? How do you approach playing someone you already know in terms of, on a personal level as well as their game? Like, how do you actually approach a best of 7, especially when you're able to pull out the series 4-3?
I mean, I'm definitely never going to use mutas again against him. I don't think any of those muta games worked out. That was pretty brutal. But that was good. I was pretty impressed because I know a lot of people have had experience with the muta thing, but like every time I tried to do mutas, like EGiNcontroL absolutely shut it down, like so hardcore, like it was absolutely brutal. So I mean, yeah. I mean, even though the style's out there, most Protosses don't respond to it that well. I actually underestimated him a lot. I assumed that even though we had just practiced it, I mean, it had only been a few days since then. I assumed that I could still pull muta wins off, but no, I mean, definitely didn't work.
Gotcha. Well, in light of how mutas are going to be changing in terms of ZVP, a lot of people are trying to gear up for it. So it was actually cool to get that insight. Now, I'm going to have to ask a little bit of a harder question, Destiny, but a lot of people are trying to say, that you're starting to lose motivation because they see you play League of Legends. And I personally think that's okay, but do you have a message you want to send to people in terms of like how your motivation is or what you're trying to gear for? Like, what are your goals for this year to make 2012 a successful year for Destiny?
I mean, I got really burnt out like a couple weeks ago on StarCraft 2. I don't know, sometimes it happens to go through phases, and I mean, I was playing another game in the meantime. It just happens to be League of Legends. I mean, I've did it with other games before. I played through Deus Ex and other stuff like that. I don't plan on switching anytime soon, so I'll just keep playing, keep practicing. I'm actually kind of excited because I found out recently that I can play on a career server without latency for some reason now, so.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. Great. So, Lurleen, do you have any other questions to ask for Jeff or Steven?
Yeah, I definitely do, but my Skype is messing up a little bit, like the robo voices when that you sometimes experience between EU and NA communication. So why don't we go ahead and ask a few questions that we have on our Twitter?
Yeah, okay, so a lot of people want to know, Jeff, what was going on Game 6, man, where you're trying to like draw it out? Were you just putting on an entertainment show? Was it an ode to the carrier, which, of course, was probably the first time lots of people saw that unit in this game, but was it just, for fun, or were you actually just trying to play really safe?
We actually...
Hey, real fast, can somebody rehost this call? Everybody sounds like a robot to me. Do you hear that? Am I the only one?
Yeah, we can go ahead and rehost the call real quick.
Okay, yeah, okay.
All right, here we go, guys. I'm rehosting the call.
So here we are again.
Okay. Everything sounds much better. Yeah, everything sounds way better.
I'll wait for Steve. There's Steven.
All right, what's up?
No, I mean, actually, Steve and I were just talking about this on our stream the other day, where I know he's on 3 bases. I have every single base scouted. He's got 1,000,000 spine crawlers, and he's got 1,000,000 infestors. I could attack into that, and that's kind of what ended up happening. Like, I was waiting for him to take a 4th, and that's when I was going to attack. And in that situation, he was able to dominate the army pretty good. So, I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, man, just finish it and stuff, but I don't have the bird's eye view. I'm not looking down on his entire army, so I just knew that I was ahead bases, and the only way I could lose was a stupid attack, so why attack? You know, let him make the move.
All right, that's a great thing. And then,
good.
Yeah, go ahead, Lurleen, go ahead.
That's a good thought process, of course.
Still like hardcore robots.
Yeah, there's something really awkward going on in this conversation. It's constantly going robo for me as well. Makes it pretty.
Can I try hosting the call? Is that okay?
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay.
All right, so guys, I'm really sorry. Skype, man, is definitely coming up with an issue, but looks like we got the call better.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, that's a lot better. Anyway, we've got a lot of different questions. Of course, most of the questions that I received at my Twitter are about, of course, Steven's adventures in League of Legends currently. Do you have any plans to keep on playing that game in a professional fashion, as in, you know, get really good at League of Legends? Are you considering switching?
I play it for fun right now. I'm not considering switching. I mean, my fan base is in StarCraft 2, and switching to a different game is kind of like switching races. Like, you've invested so much time into something that it feels kind of silly to switch. I don't think I could switch without like significant incentive to do so.
All right, great. So I guess one more question we can ask both of you guys before we send you guys off. What are your a lot of people are asking about how you are doing with your team status. Like, what's your status in terms of Quantic and what's your status in terms of Evil Geniuses? Do you guys have any plans that you're allowed to talk about what you guys are really choosing to do in terms of, you know, what's the next event you're going to be doing, or, you know, what are your specific roles? And especially because, you know, Jeff lives in the team house and Steven's doing his own thing. So what are your guys' plans right now with the team, and how's the dynamic right now with the team? If you can even give us a little insight, like, you know, how the team's feeling and what they want to do right now for 2012.
You want to go first, Destiny?
Sure. I mean, I think you can universally say every team has come together a little bit more just because of all the team leagues that are going on. If you hadn't conversated, if you hadn't spoken to your teammates before, I mean, you definitely have to now. Just with all the team leagues going on, I mean, it's opened up a lot more conversation and practice between the teams. For me personally, I mean, I'm just saying, and I'm assuming so, considering that everybody's in these team leagues. So I know that that's been the case for Quantic. I've been practicing and kind of getting advice a lot from a lot of the people in Quantic. Like, before we played, I warmed up a lot with and I'm really glad I did, because he showed me that that Baneling bust on Belshur. It's pretty much unstoppable, I think, if the Protoss Forge Fast Expand. So I mean,
I just don't think you can Forge Fast Expand there.
No, I know, you definitely can't. And it sucks, because if you don't Forge Fast Expand and I open up with a Speed Bane build, your Expo is going to be really, really late too. So I mean, it's pretty,
it's tough.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm really happy with my team situation.
Okay. And over to Jeff.
Well, EG's really moving forward. You know, as of late in the team leagues, we're not putting it together. In fact, we're doing very, very poorly, and that's something that weighs heavily on our shoulders. This is a team that is a win-first kind of team, and it's really disappointing when we're not winning. So, on a team level, that's something we want to turn around. We got the Masters Cup coming up pretty soon, so we want to redeem ourselves there. And then individually, we're really happy. I think it's spoiled, so I don't think I'm in trouble for saying this, but Puma actually took second in that IPL qualifier and did an amazing job, losing only to Alive. So we've got some minor achievements coming up, and it's a long year ahead of us. I'm really excited. Players in Korea are starting to train a lot better. Huck finally got all his things situated, and he's starting to play a lot more. And then here in the actual lair itself, we've been broadcasting our EG practice sessions, which Destiny actually joined us for one session, and that's going really, really well. Like, I still lost this best of 7, and at no point in time was I not trying to win, but I'm really happy with how I played in a few of these games, and I think a better decision on Belshir Beach, not getting my army caught on dual site, and this might be a different series, so I'm actually pretty happy. You know, this moving forward and getting better is all I want to do, and I feel like we're all doing that.
All right, great.
I've got another interesting question for the both of you. Back on, I believe it was Game 2 on Shatter Temple. First question for Destiny. Why did you pick that map?
Oh, yeah. I was wondering.
On Shadow Temple?
Yeah, on Shadow. Why did you pick Shadow Temple when you lost the first game?
What's wrong with Shadow Temple?
Well, it is a map that is pretty much considered to be pretty heavily Protoss favorite, since it's pretty tough to take a third base and all that.
My personal philosophy is that any map that has an easy-to-take third gold base for the Zerg can be really hard for Protoss to win. Not necessarily because it's better for the Zerg, but because when the Protoss sees the Zerg take that gold, usually they go into, like, holy shit, I have to kill him mode, instead of just turtling. I mean, I agree that it's really hard to pressure the Protoss third if they just take it and turtle, but usually when Protoss see that gold third go up, they really want to attack.
Oh, yeah.
And then when they do
shit out
that,
of me.
yeah, and when that happens, it's just like, and I've said this a million times, like the only thing I learned in Korea, or one of the biggest things I learned was positioning on army. Like surrounding an army in Shadow Temple is the easiest thing in the world. There's just no possible way that a Protoss can. I mean, the middle is so open, and I'm on 3 hatcheries, and I'm just popping out units, and I've got the gold and everything. So.
Okay, cool. So you're personally pretty comfortable on that map. Another funny thing that happened on Shadow Temple was, Geoff, you were taking your expansion and you saw an Overlord fly around, and that Overlord was pretty much a free kill. And when I saw that situation, I was reminded of the retard magnet that Steven got so famous for. And I was calling it out on stream. I was like, I bet that Geoff is thinking right now, that's a retard magnet. He's trying to draw me out.
There's like 3 Overlords floating around my base, and I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a part of that highlight reel, so I'm not taking the risk. I mean, when you only have 3 sentries, it seems like they're a lot more vulnerable than they are. Like, yeah, I could grab all 3 sentries and go kill an Overlord, or I could split off 1 and it would take half an hour to kill 1, and that would be cool. But the risk of just 20 Speedlings running in there at that time when my gateways aren't down is too high. With the gateways down, I can afford to do that because now I have like physical force fields in place.
Yeah. It's important to note in that game too. I made sure that my gas went down to 245. I'm pretty sure he saw gas pretty early that game. So, I mean, to kill the Overlords is okay, but it's like a trade-off thing. Like, yeah, you could get 2, maybe 3 free Overlord kills, but you could also straight up lose the game instantly if I'm saving lanes, and he has no way to know that. So it'd be kind of reckless to just send the sentries off to do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What made you not make those links? Did you play Geoff before, and did you know he was not gonna go for the move out with the sentries? What was your reason to not make those 10 or 20 extra speedlings?
I look at everything. I guess the term in poker is expected value. If that game goes to a late game and I've got that gold third, I see myself winning the majority of the time. So I wouldn't want to jeopardize that early on by making a whole bunch of links that could be useless. I mean, I could gain an advantage there, but there's no reason to risk what I can see as an advantageous late game by trying to do something slightly gimmicky in the early game.
All right, cool. So
okay, good point.
I have one last question, Jeff, before we let you guys give shouts and let you guys go, and thank you guys so much. So, Jeff, I asked Destin, what would make 2012 a successful year for him. I want to ask you the same thing because I know you're a huge personality in StarCraft 2, and you talk about how you always want to win under your belt. What are your plans this year? What would make 2012 a successful year for Jeff and Control Robinson?
I'm really happy with where I'm at in terms of like you said, kind of personality-wise, and I've got people interested in having me cast, and I really feel like I get involved with everything, or I at least have the opportunity to, and I'm really thankful and lucky to be in that place. But last year for me as a player, which that's my first and foremost passion, it was not a good year. I mean, it just flat out wasn't. I don't want to have 2012 be the year where I'm like, well, I took a map off of so-and-so and I almost beat so-and-so. I want it to be the year where I go into tournaments, people have me in their group, and instead of insta saying I'm the easiest guy in the group, no need to worry about that, I'd rather they'd be like, actually lately he's been doing really good with this and this, and I got to worry about him and prepare for him. And I want to be a better player, I want more results, and eventually I want to win a tournament. And of course that's what everyone says, but I do feel like with my training and progress, that's the direction I'm going in. And even, the show match is indicative of that. I really feel like if you were to watch Destiny and I's games before, they were a lot more like I was winning with a 2-base timing or weird thing, or, a cannon rush put me way ahead type of thing. But now it's, I feel like we're playing more crisp, better games, and that's been my progress across the board. So that's what I want more of.
All right, thank you so much, Jeff. All right, we'll do last quick shout-outs before you guys let you go. Steven, you can go first.
Thanks a lot to Quantic Gaming for supporting me and everything. Thanks to Razor for supporting Quantic Gaming. I have to give a special shout out to my buddy Josh Og, because he helped me prepare for the show match and everything. And thanks to all the fans and everybody for watching.
Great. And Jeff?
Just want to echo the sentiments. Thank you for everybody tuning in. I actually saw that the stream was upwards of like 9,000 people. It's a freaking awesome turnout, and I want to thank Playhem for giving me this opportunity. I mean, one thing I was saying on State of the Game before, and I'll echo again now, every chance I get to play against a good player with something on the line is really special practice, because Steve and I can play as many games as we want between now and MLG or whatever, but without money or people watching, it's not a good replication of what it's like to play on a stage, and little events like this allow me to get that time and get that practice, and get the blood flow going, and then the anxiety high and stuff like that. So thank you to you guys, my team, obviously Evil Geniuses, and all our sponsors: Intel, Kingston HyperX, SteelSeries, Monster Energy, Sapphire, Beyond Gaming, and everybody else. And then just thank you to everybody who watched.
Oh, well, it was our pleasure. It was a really fun Showmatch series. Usually our show matches end in either 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, whatever. Usually they're pretty one-sided, and you actually showed us a very evenly matched show match, and it was a pleasure to cast, and we're definitely looking forward to having you on more show matches in the future. And it was good, man. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right, guys, take care. So thank you so much again. Once again, that was Jeff EGiNcontroL Robinson and Steven Bonelli, who's also called